Woo-wee. Good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. We're getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot as usual. Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, they're all bouncing today. And it's possible we see turnaround Tuesday happen tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But when Bitcoin has been in a bear market for 5 months, we expect bounces along the way, right? We expect relief rallies, we expect bounces. Bitcoin has hit resistance, which we're going to talk about. So, what happens next? Now, what? Well, we're going to get into all of that today. On the first half of the live stream, we will cover Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, and anything else that jumps at us on the watch list. On the second half of the live stream, we will cover your chart requests. So make sure to put in the ticker symbol. Make sure to put in the asset type and name. Is it crypto? Is it stock? And what's the name of it? And all the details so that we can keep the live streaming over here. So with that, obviously, none of this is financial advice. Obviously, this is for educational purposes only, and hopefully have a little bit of entertainment along the way. And we're going to jump into it here very, very shortly. But just want to say good morning. Hopefully, everyone had a great weekend. Hopefully, you're able to get outside like we were. Being that we're in Southern California, it was like 82 degrees. It was perfect. And I got some good quality family time. I got some good quality dad and daughter alone time. We went to 3 different parks over the weekend. Good times, good times, good times. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Lucky Look 7159. What's up? What's up? What's up? Mighty Kurt. Good morning. Good morning. Jason. Good morning. What's up? What's up? Yeah. So is $60,000 bottom. Everybody wants to call the bottom all the way down. Everybody wants to call the bottom all the way down. Everyone is worried about missing the bottom. And we've been covering, you would already know the answer to this, to your own question, if you've been watching our live streams for 5 months. So for 5 months, I've been talking about it. For 5 months, we've been on this live stream covering my exact thoughts on it. And, we'll probably get into it again today. But the same people calling the bottom all the way down were the same people who were calling for $250,000 Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at 123,700 on October 8th when I posted the Wyckoff distribution chart, right? The same people who are calling bottoms all the way down were the same people on October 10th that were calling for $250,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025. What we did was we put out a Bitcoin bear market roadmap on October 10th based off the weekly chart. We had the daily sell signal. We had a sell signal on the daily chart. We had bearish divergence on longer term. We had the Wyckoff distribution chart. Everything was lining up. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back. And the same people who were calling for the bottom over here were calling for $250,000 Bitcoin up here. Same people who called the bottom over here, we were going to go make new all-time highs by the end of 2025. Same people calling for the bottom over here, right? They're calling for new all-time highs by the end of 2026. So this is the chart. This is the chart, right? So we had 2 paths laid out. We had a yellow path, which was similar to 2022, and we had the blue path, which was similar to over here. Now it looks like the blue path. pump up, come back down. One last pump up into two key sniper target retracements, right? And just keep in mind, we don't have a magic crystal ball, right? We don't have a magic crystal ball. We don't know exactly how the price action is going to play out. We do a lot of speculating. We do a lot of forecasting. We're not the hindsight crew. We are the foresight crew. So we're actively speculating, we're actively forecasting every single live stream, but we don't have a magic crystal ball and we don't know exactly how it's going to play out. But if we continue to watch it unfold in real time, there are a lot of similarities not only to 2022, but even recent fractals, right? So over here, the two exact sniper targets that were hit in 2022 were hit again in January 2026. The exact same two market sniper targets. Those two targets here is this resistance. So this resistance were the same two targets over here. So nothing's happening until that resistance gets flipped. So that's why I put the resistance at a 4px because it's strong resistance. And we're going to find out shortly. Could it even possibly go higher? Yes. And then come back down, right? The point is that we are in a bear market. The point is whatever the bounce is, whatever the relief rally is, we expect those bounces and relief rallies to get sold off until proven otherwise. We have not proven it otherwise, right? Until proven otherwise, we expect the bounces to get sold off. So that's where we continue to be at. And if you look at over here, it will probably you can even see the bullish divergence line over here that's picked up on the indicator. But we had the bullish divergence, which I pointed out, and it's just still trending until it doesn't. And once it crosses back over, right, and there's an RSI sell signal, then that would be a higher probability that we're going to continue back down. So this is a bounce. This is a relief rally while in a bear market. So nothing has changed except for we're speculating every single live stream, forecasting every single live stream of how the price action is going to play out. But we don't have a magic crystal ball. So we still need to take the new data every single day and try to figure out the next path. But the same setup is still the same setup, right? It's still a short the bounce type of situation. So wherever that bounce is, the lower high is the higher probability, right? So that's where we're at right now. We're right. Price just tagged the resistance. So it could take some time. Could still take some time. Could bow around here like this, down, up. However it plays out, we are expecting lower. That's the main thing. We're not expecting higher. Could the bounce go higher? Yes. But the final move is lower. So however it plays out in the consolidation, the end result is still the end result, and that's lower. So, good morning, Jo. Let's go. What's up? What's up? Longtime market sniper in the house. Good to see you on here. Where would your bottom levels be for ETH if you think lower for BTC things? Yeah, we can take a look at it. We have a longer term bearish chart that we can look at. London, UK National Sexy News, aka Lawrence. What's up? What's up? What's up? Always helping me out on the algorithms. Help me, help you, help me with the algorithms. I appreciate that. Lawrence helps me out on YouTube and X algorithms by commenting, reposting, all that stuff. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Longtime market sniper in the house. Let's let's go. Baby. Admire the dedication. Yep. Got any promo? No, the annual is the promo code. It's like $40 a month. It's $490 for the year. That is the promo. Eventually, it's going to go up to $99 a month. AI says that we should be $199 a month for everything that we're offering. So, $49 a month is the promo code. Annual for $490 per year is the promo code. So no, the price is actually going to go up. Yep, we'll circle back. So there we are. It's into the resistance. We still have more to cover on Bitcoin. We're going to cover the weekly chart. We're going to cover the 2-week chart, the 3-week chart, the monthly chart, and show why we are still in a bear market, why we expect these bounces to get sold off. We're going to explain all of it. So if you're new to the channel, awesome. Welcome. If you're returning to the channel, even better. You've seen me talk about this on every single live stream. But if you're new, we're going to continue to talk about it, of why we're still in a bear market. And it's a good reminder too, because if you get caught up with the bullish posts on X or YouTube or whatever you're watching over there, and it's a good reminder of where we're at right now in this bear market. So, but before we do that, I've never taken $1 of affiliate money. And so what we do is we come over here and just a quick little promotion to Market Sniper Pro. That's us. You can click the website or you can go to Jesse Olson, follow us over here. Interesting. We've updated recently the Market Sniper alerts in the Discord. So we just upgraded it, and there was 2 signals that came in, and of course I blocked out all the details. All the details are down here, and it's of course it's educational only. But we did have 2 alerts yesterday, and you know, because it pulls even on when the stock market's closed, it still pulls the data. So if the data is the same as Friday or Saturday, it still pulls it. But it's pretty much posting 1 setup per day. Sometimes it posts like 3 or 4, or 2, and maybe some days there are no setups. But based off of our exact criteria, it seems like it's posting at least 1 per day. So, and then of course, I'm posting without all the details over here on X as well. So, we just gave an upgrade. The alerts on Discord actually have a built-in chart now, but then you can just go to the actual chart itself. So you can find out more information over here. It's hard to keep up with. We have so many tools that continue to get rolled out and or upgraded. It's hard to keep up with all the announcements, to be honest, and keep the website updated with all the new stuff. So we only have the one option, $49 a month or $4.90 per year. So you have all that. The features you can come over here and learn more about it if you want. Dashboard setups, bot suite, 70 plus hours of record mic check. 70 plus hours of recorded coaching. So if you want to learn more, if you want to take a deep dive, community, we have our own online community. We have our own charting system, right? We still use Discord as a bridge because there's things that Discord can do that our online community can't do yet, or that we haven't rolled out yet. Uh, we still use TradingView as a bridge for right now, even though we have our own charting system, because there are some things that TradingView can do that we haven't rolled out yet, or that our charting system can't do yet. So there you go. But here's the charting system. All good stuff over here. Go over here. I have the automatic gap detections over here. Indicators. We rebuilt the indicators on our own charting system. So we have the indicators on TradingView as well, but we started there, and then we've built the indicators over here on Python code. TradingView is on Pine script code, so we had to convert everything over, but they're basically the same now. So, I mean, they are the same basically. Yeah. So we have all the sniper indicators. I have auto trend lines checked on. Chart patterns. You could add on chart patterns, volume. There's a lot of different things you can add on here. Supply and demand zones, gap detection. I have gap detection on. So if you see the gaps populating on the chart, I didn't draw those. It's automatic gap detection. So a lot of good stuff. You can see these trend lines are automatically drawn on Sniper RSI, right? So I have the gap detection on. I've got the trend lines automatically on, and then I put these labels on myself. But Microsoft, let's see. So you can go through all of that, and then the screener, right? The screener, you have over 4,100 results. We had over 8,000 results on there, but a lot of them didn't have enough volume. So if you're trading those other 4,000, and one day we might get back up to like 20,000. We're in talks about it. As long as there's enough like volume and stuff, because otherwise you might not get as good of fills, or the gaps are much bigger, stuff like that. So all reasons why. But we did have over 8,000, and then we scaled it back to 4,100, which includes stocks, cryptos, ETFs, uh, commodities, stuff like that. So we don't have futures yet, but we have to put on futures eventually. So eventually we'll put on futures, stuff like that. So, but you can come over here, add the filter, and so we have on our sniper alerts per day, we have an exact filter that we've built out, and you could figure it out by seeing all the exact numbers on it. On those alerts. But we have, for example, if you did RSI bullish divergence and it narrowed it down from 4,100 to here, then you would still want to you still want to chart it. But for example, this one, ZJYL, the purpose is to find like divergence and everything else ahead of time. But this one gapped up 1,700%. Maybe it was a stock split. Maybe that's why it's showing it. But you could do the weekly chart. Oops. Add filter. Bullish weekly, right? And then you have two different ones. So you have bullish divergence on NFE as an example, right? So it's been in a bear market for a long time, but there is bullish divergence, so there's some positives. Of course, you still want to come back over here and go through all the entire charting process, but M- uh, MSAI, right? Bullish divergence, just dropped down another 18%. So just because there's bullish divergence or bearish divergence, you still want to chart it, but it's just an example of how you could do it. And you could do the MACD divergence as well, and then it'll give you a different one. So this is a weekly chart. You change this to daily. Oh, you could change it to daily, weekly, right? And then you have all these ones too. So bullish divergence on the weekly chart for MACD. So many different ways you could do it, consolidating, like a time period of consolidation, all that. So uh, weekly charts, gaps everywhere. So just a little. So that's what we've got going on over there. We've got a lot more than what I ever talk about. It's a lot to talk about, so I don't want to do a 1 hour infomercial. I just like to spend 5 or 10 minutes quickly going over what all the new tools that we continue to dial in and build out over time. Woo! So lucky. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cool, 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 cool. What else? All right, so this is the daily chart, and now we'll get into the weekly chart of why we continue to. Oh, Google. Uh, why we continue to say that it's in a bear market and stuff like that, right? Well, it's because of the higher time frames. Duh. Weekly chart. We put out this weekly chart back on October 10th, right? This weekly chart is October 10th. And we've been saying for a while that it's ahead of schedule, right? Price caught up to the fractal and then came down faster and then had a relief rally and dropped faster again, right? So you can see this red line is just kind of representing me drawing out the red trending dots, right? So that's the red trending dots. And price came all the way down to $60,000. And the red trending dots are still trending downward. But what we've been saying is the red trending dots were at $96,000 when price was at 60,000. So on any bounce or relief rally, we're expecting price to let the trending dots catch up or the moving averages catch up, right? So back here on February, price was at 60,000 and the trending dots were at $96,000. Now price is at 73,462 and the red trending dots are 82,000. So price is letting the trending dots catch up. And it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th week now that we've been into a bounce, letting these trending dots catch up. So we said the same thing over here. It was November. Price was at, call it $81,000, right? The trending dots were at 113,000. Price got very close over here at 98,000 when the trending dot was at 99,000. So very close. And then the next move happened after that. So trending dots are a lot closer right now. So if maybe there's not another rollover for 2 weeks, right? Maybe it goes sideways for a couple weeks, or maybe it even pumps back up into the trending dots. We don't know. We don't know exactly how it's going to play out. But we do know that the red trending dots are trending downward, and we're in a bear market. If you go to the 2-week chart, right? So this is a weekly chart. If you go to the 2-week chart, the red trending dots are still trending down, right? This whole entire bull run, the trending dots are green on the 2-week chart. Completely different. This bear market, going back to February 2022, the 2-week chart flipped red and stayed red all the way until March, right? Of course, we were buying the right dip January 4th, 2023 at 16,800. The red trending dots were still red, but price was much closer and the red trending dots were back down here by the 200-week SMA. So it took time. It took time to play out. Same thing with the 3-week chart. The 3-week chart still has red trending dots. We expected a bounce. We expect a bounce. We expected a bounce. We expect a bounce, right? During the red trending dots. So this is showing bearish divergence, and now since that red sell signal, it's just been down ever since on 3 weeks, right? Bearish divergence. Could price go higher first? Yes, it did. Could price go higher first? Yes. These are higher time frames, and it did. So even similarities on that. And then we didn't see a 3-week crossover till March, right? So it could take some time. The monthly chart, sell signal below the trending dots, sell signal below the trending dots. Then the trending dots flipped red, and it still took some time for momentum to turn around back up to the upside. So nothing has changed for us on the higher time frames. If you were to zoom out. So zooming out, right? I mean, if it got to 82,000, yes, if, but it's at key resistance right now, Damon. So it may not get to 82,000. Could stay below that 74, but it may. It's possible. So that's Bitcoin. Still on the higher time frames remain bearish. The daily chart remains bullish, right? Still remains bullish on the daily chart. But we have it mapped out on how it would play out, right? So however the price action plays out in the interim, when the higher time frames are still bearish, we expect prices to go lower first, whether it's all the way down here at 52, whether it's hitting the SMA at 58,000, or goes even lower than that. In the past, we've seen Bitcoin go 30% below the 200-week SMA. Does that happen again? We don't know. But it has happened in the past every single time. So we'll see how it plays out in real time. What else? Bitcoin futures. There's a gap at 81,275, but it's small. Will it get filled right away? We don't know. These are the lines in the sand. These are the lines in the sand. Start to roll over. Start to get back below the trailing dots over here. The higher probability. Those are higher probabilities that the price is going to go much lower after that. So, currently in an uptrend on the daily chart until proven otherwise. Currently in a longer term downtrend until proven otherwise. So both can be true at the same time, depending on what time frame you're looking at. On the daily chart, it's in an uptrend until proven otherwise. On a weekly, 2-week, 3-week, and monthly chart, it's in a downtrend until proven otherwise. So, and it can reverse quickly, just like it did over here, right? It's up, it's up, it's up, it's up. Everyone's celebrating. And then the next thing you know, drop straight back down, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Bitcoin versus gold. Also bullish on Bitcoin versus gold. Uh, bullish on the daily chart. Still bearish on the weekly chart. Red trending dots are at 1798. 2-week chart. Still bearish, letting the trending dots catch up. 3-week chart. Still bearish, letting the trending dots catch up. And the monthly chart. So still bearish on the monthly chart. And two things that we've been pointing out time and time and time again on every single live stream is not a positive, right? It's not a positive. The one thing to be concerned about with Bitcoin is if we see a downward sloping 200-week SMA. We currently do not have a downward sloping 200-week SMA on Bitcoin versus the dollar. But on Bitcoin versus gold, we already do. And Bitcoin versus the dollar, you would not want to see that, right? Which means it could be a prolonged bear market for Bitcoin versus gold. So you wouldn't want to see that on Bitcoin versus the dollar. And there are several altcoins that flipped downward sloping 200-week SMA, and they're still in a bear market, right? And we're going to cover all that today. So stay tuned. In the history of Bitcoin versus gold, there was never a downward sloping 200-week SMA. Now there is. So this time is different, but in a negative way. In the history of Bitcoin, let me change this. Let me put this back on. Sometimes I take RSI off just for, so the chart doesn't look so cluttered. But this instance, we're going to put it back on. In the history of Bitcoin versus gold, we never saw a close this low before, 34. And many were calling that to be bullish. That's not bullish, it's bearish, right? So it broke this 11-year trend line, broke this 7-year trend line. And when RSI was down here at 34, we put this out over here. It's basically, I redrew this, and it's possible we see this play out similarly, right? So, which would mean that the bottom is not in, which means that we would see another bottom, August, September, October for Bitcoin versus gold. From this bottom to this bottom on Bitcoin versus gold is 48 months. From this bottom to this bottom on Bitcoin versus gold is 47 months. From this bottom to potential future bottom would be 46 months, right? Now we put us in October. So however it plays out, right? So we'll see. But that's Bitcoin versus gold. Probably not too many people are trading the pair. So there we are. And then if you come over to HODL, January 2024 all-time lows down here at $11. If HODL and some of these ETFs go back to revisit the all-time lows January 2024, then Bitcoin would be at about $40,000. So I think that's a real possibility. We'll see how it plays out, and we'll take it level by level. But several of these charts, like Bitcoin futures and HODL, we've talked about this in the past. There was no buy signals yet, and the market bosses will want to make sure that all the charts kind of line up and they look very similar. And we hadn't seen a buy signal or a pending buy signal yet on some of these ETFs and or Bitcoin futures. And so it makes sense that they want to have everything line up first. So again, there's a new gap at $23.14, similar to the Bitcoin futures. So that kind of lines up. And so we'll see if it's going to roll over here, you know, whether it's this week, next week, or the week after. We don't know. We don't have a magic crystal ball, but we'll continue to monitor the situation and speculate the situation. What else? Bitcoin future, Bitcoin versus the euro already tagged the 200-week SMA. It has not on the dollar yet, so that's interesting. XRP, there's a buy signal yesterday. Ethereum, similar to Bitcoin, there's already a buy signal and could come back up and tag the 200-week SMA. But keeping in mind that the weekly chart is bearish, right? And so someone asked me about the bottom for Ethereum, I think. Let's see. So just kind of letting the trending dots catch up right now, but there is a downward sloping 200-week SMA. I think the peak was around 20, just shy of 2,500, and now it's at 2,440. So it is downward sloping. And you can kind of see it a little bit better when you're zoomed out. So there are a lot of reasons why price could come all the way back down here. Maybe it takes a while to play out. Maybe it retests the 200-week SMA first and just continues to make lower highs and lower lows over time. While the SMA is rolling over. Right? So something to think about. Let's see. Like that. So if you've got, you know, probably wouldn't expect it to play out quickly. This is a monthly chart, right? And maybe it comes down quicker by October, and that's the bottom. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But that's the monthly chart. 3-week chart, still bearish. Mm-hmm. 2-week chart. Yep. Weekly chart. Yep. So that's where we're at on Ethereum and a lot of the altcoins. So a lot of the altcoins look similar too. So let's keep going though. Let's keep rocking and rolling. This is the now that we've kind of laid the groundwork, we can just kind of look quickly at some of these other altcoins. Still in a downtrend on the weekly chart. Downward sloping 200-week SMA on Chainlink daily chart. Still bouncing, right? Still bouncing. Cardano still bouncing. Oh, another pending buy signal, but still bouncing. Weekly chart is pretty bearish. Downward sloping 200-week SMA. So keeping in mind that when you see a bouncing crypto asset or Bitcoin or any asset that's got longer term or higher time frame bearishness, the daily chart, you would expect a bounce, but then you expect a bounce to get sold off. So, but I'll go H bar, XLM, near. Near started the bounce early. Near continues to be bullish. So near might tell us in the near future of where the bounce ends. And it's coming back into the trending dots, right? So that's going to be the first test is bounce back into the trending dots. And then we'll see if the ship gets turned around or not, right? So you've got a low, you've got another low, and this wick took out, made a new all-time low, right? So a new all-time low. A higher probability of a true trend reversal is going to be a higher low. We don't have that. We have a new low. We have a new low. So if there was another higher low, that and a higher high, those are the probabilities, right? So that it could be a bigger bounce. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let's move that to yellow. Those red trading dots would kind of coil up a little bit more, right? So it's a daily chart. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Just speculating full speed ahead over here. So near that's your optimistic, right? That's the optimistic. Uh, if you look at the monthly chart, well below the trending dots. Trending dots are still at 285. So as the trending dots on the monthly chart catch up, right? That's why. So that's kind of the trajectory. Um, there you go. Boom, boom, boom. That is near. What else? What else? What else? That's SP 500. We'll come back to that. MicroStrategy weekly chart still below the 200-week SMA, right? The canary in the coal mine for Bitcoin. The canary in the coal mine we've been talking about for Bitcoin since 2021. Not only in the bear market of 2022, but some points where it was the canary in the coal mine on the bullish side, which we pointed out when Bitcoin was at 65,000. We said, hey, MicroStrategy was breaking out to make new all-time highs back in 2024. Is it still the canary in the coal mine? And in hindsight, it was. Bitcoin broke out to the upside from 65,000 and went on to make a new all-time high in end of 2024 as well. And then we talked about it as in the 2026 bear market, and we talked about it all the way over here, the Adam and Eve double top pattern, weekly bearish divergence, all of that. And in hindsight, price did come back down to the 200-week SMA back on January 2026. In hindsight, price did go well below the 200-week SMA back here in February. So the canary in the coal mine, and this is what we have still kind of mapped out. Still have the red train dots over here that have not been retested for a very long time, right? It's been a long time since these red weekly trending dots have been retested. But now it's been going kind of sideways and downward and sideways to let the trending dots catch up. So that's kind of where we're at right now. The dollar getting a little bit of a retracement today, but this is the weekly chart. It broke out, came back for a back test, and then resumed higher. So this is only day one of the weekly chart for the DXY futures. Still bullish on the weekly chart, still bullish on the 2-week chart. Back above the trailing dots on the 3-week chart. Monthly chart has not retested the trailing dots yet. So boom, boom, boom. What else? What else? Where is... There it is. Gold. Ooh, whale alert. 250,000, 250 million minted. That doesn't seem like that much. Boom, whale alert. Boom. So Friday the 13th. Friday had a sell signal. And could see a little bit bigger of a correction on gold now. And this is all, we did so much speculation back over here, right? But let's see. Why is it doing that? Oh, okay. It's still possible that we see higher prices, but the fractal was based off of over here when everyone was calling the gold top. I said, well, the higher time frames remain bullish and ultra bullish. So it still seems like buy the dip scenario. In hindsight, that was true. And so, but then we also talked about that at some point we could see a lower high. And right now that looks like a lower high. That looks like a lower high. Not confirmed yet until we make a lower low, but that will be in hindsight. So what we have to do is look at the weekly chart. And that's a monthly chart. The weekly chart looks like it wants to come back and retest the trailing dots. So it could still be bullish. I don't know what's going on over here. Long term, it could still be long-term bullish, but go through a correction right now, right? So there's a lot of reasons why it could go into a longer correction. You've got bearish divergence, right? So now you have bearish divergence. Well, you had bearish divergence, but we're pointing out a scenario that could remain bearish and could continue to have bearish divergence. That's what I'm trying to say. But the correction could last longer right now. So, because you have a pending sell signal on RSI, could come back for the trending dots way back here. And so that's what we're watching. We had a daily chart, already had a sell signal. This was a massive move and a massive run. So it only makes sense to have a pullback, but I personally still wouldn't be shorting it because it's still in an uptrend. It's still in an uptrend because even though price went sideways and retraced, came back to the trailing dots and then bounced higher, right? Came back to trailing dots, bounce higher. Trailing dots, bounce higher. Bearish diversions, all that. So 2-week chart, still ultra bullish. No bearish divergence on the 2-week chart yet, but could let the trailing dots kind of catch up. So this is why I'm still not looking to short gold, right? Maybe you're in a long position and maybe you're in, you know, that, maybe you start considering, well, when do you lock in profits? If you haven't locked in profits already, when do you lock in profits, right? You have a pending RSI sell signal, but RSI is way up here, right? The monthly RSI came all the way up to 93.49. In July of 2020, it went all the way to 86. Not only did it come back to retest the trailing dots, came all the way back and retested the 200-week SMA, right? Something to think about. The last time it came up to 86.46 before 2020 was August 11th. Price came back down to the trailing dots. Price ended up coming back down to the 200-week SMA. Right? Took 2 years to play out. But the last 2 times RSI was that high at 86 or higher. The last 2 times, not only did it hit the trailing dots, but it also came back to the 200-week SMA, which, like I said, took 2 years to play out. So that would be like 2028, and the 200-week SMA could be all the way up here, right? Going back further to 2006, price at least came back down to the trailing dots, but not the 200-week SMA. So that's a possibility. This time is different though, because the monthly RSI is the highest it's been since January 1980. So January 1980, and then there was an RSI sell signal on the monthly chart. Came back down, pumped back up again, right? Came down, pumped back up, and that took time. That took, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 months, 12, 13 months to retest the trending dots after the RSI sell signal. 28 months to retest the 200-week moving average. But you can see after it went to 94 on RSI, monthly chart, that RSI sell signal was in a downtrend for a long time. Then it had a bounce, and then back into the sell signal for another very long time. You're talking about years. From wick to wick over here was 92 months, right? 92 months. And before it got back into like another bull run, it's like a long time. And even then, it wasn't that sexy. And basically kept drifting lower all the way until 2002, right? 20 years. So something to keep in mind, right? Everyone got hyped up on gold. The chart says, I obviously wasn't watching charts when I was 1 years old, right? But the last time it went to 94 RSI and then had an RSI sell signal, The top was in and the bottom didn't get hit until 1999. And RSI didn't bottom until 1998. And RSI came down to 20. So it went from 94 to RSI 20 on the monthly chart. Then it started its rebound, right? And it still was battling and battling all the way until uh got back above the 200 over here in 2002, and then went on another massive run. So consolidated for 20 years. Here we are again. RSI went to 94, 93.45. RSI has a pending sell signal on the monthly chart. So what if it goes into a downtrend for 20 years? That'd be crazy, right? So if you're in a long position, and the last time it did this was 1980, and the next time it finally made the move again, if you look back at it, right, it went parabolic. That was a massive move for gold. Gold had its day, right? Gold had its day. Massive move. And we called it 2 years ago that the cup and handle up to $4,000, right? There was a cup and handle that I put out 2 years ago. And back here, 1980 went parabolic. And by the time it made a new all-time high, right? Look at that. How long did it take to make a new all-time high for gold after that amazing run? Didn't make a new all-time high until 2008. Didn't start breaking out hardcore until like 2008, 2009, right? Of course, this was the breakout 2002, but it didn't make a new all-time high. So if you held the top for this whole entire time, right? I think there's a better strategy. Like at some point, do you lock in profits and then you wait for the next major move, right? So you may have to wait a long time. So would I be shorting it now? No, I would not be shorting it now personally, because what if it does the drop and then the bounce, right? And then after that bounce, maybe it'll be a higher then it would be a higher probability to start shorting it, right? So, but right now in the monthly chart, there's a possible bearish engulfing candle. Still have what 14, 15 days left in the month, but bearish engulfing candle, pending bearish engulfing candle. There is bearish divergence. The last time RSI monthly hit 94 or 93, price let the trending dots catch up and retested it. Price let the 200-week SMA catch up. Not only retested it, but went below it, and then went in a prolonged bear market for 20 years. So the last time RSI went that high and then had an RSI sell signal. So could the top be in for gold this time? It could. It's not confirmed, right? But over here, we were not seeing that at all. We were not seeing a pending RSI sell signal. We saw RSI at 92, which, but now this could be the lower high on RSI, and that could be a lower low on the monthly chart, followed by a pending RSI sell signal. So But again, it could still come like this, bounce on the monthly chart, let those training dots kind of catch up, and then let the 200-week moving average catch up as well. So that's the way we look at it. Let's call these green for gold, right? There we go. So that's the possibility. And we haven't seen this similar of a setup. Oh, mic check. Since 1980. And I wasn't even I was learning to walk. uh I had to relearn how to walk after my ankle. uh but it's been like what, 15 weeks now. My ankle is feeling a lot better. Walking around, uh and it's probably like the side to side range movement isn't there yet, and I don't fully 100% trust it to like move laterally like perfectly, but like walking and stuff, I'm like back to normal. So, uh, so that's gold. Silver already had the RSI monthly sell signal, so it seems like the training dots want to get retested. So that's something to pay attention to. What else? What else? Let's switch over to the Magnificent Seven, ANF. Boom, boom, boom. TQQQQ. Friday, I ended up closing out my puts on TQQ. Not because I don't think TQQQQQ goes lower. I do think it goes lower. I do think it hits additional targets. The problem was it was March 13th. Price was down here below $46, and I had to make a decision. And I talked about this leading up to that decision. Talked about it's like, well, we're running out of time. And if we get one last push down, we're running against time decay on the options, right? So we're battling time decay. We're battling time decay. And in hindsight, yesterday's close or Friday's close, the last session, I would have locked in more profit over here on March 9th because of time decay. In hindsight, I would have locked in more profit on March 3rd because of time decay. So in hindsight, I should have locked in back over here, but it was pushing down. So over here, we talked about it on the live stream that I'm probably going to have to close my puts out because of time decay. And the expirations were happening on March 20th, right? So on the 13th, we still had a week. But then if we held through the weekend, we lose 2 or 3 more additional days. It's possible it lets the trading dots catch up. It's possible the market bosses hold price up until March 20th, which is only a few more days now, right? But on last Friday, it was still a week away. Or so the 20th, right? They hold price up and then it comes back down. And that's how they play the game, right? That's how they play the game. So I had to make over here. We talked about we have to make the decision. And if we get one more push down, and it was getting pushed down, and then when it was getting pushed down again on Friday, that's when I was like, well, I only have a week on the calendar, but I have less than a week on time decay and all of that. So unfortunately, I felt the need to close it out, which was still not as good as Tuesday the 10th and still not as good as the 3rd, but we didn't get a bigger flush down. And it was just, I was like, I don't want to hold it over the weekend. They bounce it back up next week, and the time decay plus the bounce, just then I don't make any money, right? then I lock in profit, but I don't lock in that much. So I had to make the decision on Friday to close out those puts, and I did because of time decay, and I didn't want to roll this one. I didn't want to roll TQQQ. No way. So I'd give myself 45 days, and we're within like a week, and I didn't want additional time decay to go against me, and then it bounces on top of it, and as well. And in hindsight, it's bouncing, right? So it was a good decision. Maybe I could have even made a bigger, better decision and saved time decay on TQQQ, but I did close out my puts in profit. So, yep, yep. And well, you want a good setup, right? So it's been really choppy, but shorting bounces, shorting bounces, shorting bounce, right? So, like, if I had a longer expiration, I'd still be holding it because the higher time frames are bearish and the bounces would be sold off. But uh, I'd still be holding it if I had longer expiration, but I don't. So yeah, that's you know, if the setup isn't clear, I'm not going to force it. If the setup is not clear, I'm not going to force it. Did I get as much profit as I wanted? No. Could I had more if I would have closed out on the 10th or the 2nd? Yes, in hindsight. Did I lock in realized gains? Yes. Uh, do I want to chase? No. Could I look for another setup? Yes. So those all can be true at once. So if I don't see the next setup and it didn't play out like I hoped, right? You know, playing like these bounces, like you just hope that you get some big massive move down. And it's just been chop city on this one. And then finally it'll have like a drop down, but it's not easy holding through chop city, right? It's not easy holding it. Uh and at some point if you have expiration dates, at some point you have to decide to make it close, right? It's not like DJT where if you're shorting it over here, you got a nice flush down. It's like you don't always get what you want. So DJT is a nice flush. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days. So you don't always get what you want. I wasn't trading Dow Jones Transportation, right? Uh, dollar. Let's see what else. Hey, let's go back up here. Russell still bearish. Here, let's get back on the cursor so I don't mark it up like crazy. But the overall trend has dropped, right? So that's the Russell, PLTR, Nasdaq continues to bounce off of this target, right? Not once, not twice, 3, 4, 5 times now is bounced off this target. It's been battling this area at 24,500 since September 2025. 6 months it's been battling. So from the time it went above 24,500, it's actually tested it even 6 times. 1, right? So you start breaking below here, you start breaking below this target, then we could probably see a bigger move that goes faster. So continues to hold as support. And it's been battling 24,500. It was resistance, flipped it, and now it's support. But the longer it retests support, the longer it battles support, the probabilities continue to increase that support's going to be lost, right? So that's where we're at right now on NASDAQ. But it's been a battle. It's been a battle. Could have kind of drawn like something similar back over here, right? You kind of see like all the support broke through, came up, and then just had a nice flush down, right? Short bounce, nice flush down. Still battling. So we'll see. We'll see. Still battling. Amazon, SP 500. Downtrend. Apple, SPY, Microsoft, Dow Jones, Google, Netflix. We put this fractal out on February 25th when there was a pending buy signal. And in hindsight, it looks similar, right? In hindsight, it looks similar. So pending buy signal February 25th, we were thinking that, after the bear market drop, the initial bear market drop, that we would see a relief rally similar to other stocks. And then we'll see if there's a bigger drop after that. So I think that's about it. We're going to cover some chart requests. And we're still at the resistance while the trending dots are catching up. And we'll see. It could even pop back above here and then drop back down. So, woo-wee. Let's go back to the comments. Yeah, I mean, it's like the same thoughts as silver spot that we already covered. So not much really else to cover on it. Yeah, with all this the drawings on there and the squibbly marks, it looks the same. So not much has really changed on that. So that's about it. There's bullish divergence on the daily chart, and there's a pending buy signal on IREN. Uh, it's still somewhat in a uptrend, still above the trailing dots on some of the higher time frames. But is the top in? Seems like the top could be in, right? Could it bounce higher? Yes, it could based off of the daily chart, but it seems like the top is in. Seems like it wants to come back and retest some of these trending dots. It's really far extended away from the 200-week SMA, right? So that was a massive move up, 900%. So seems like that was the top wick back in November, and it's just been slowly, well, not even slowly, like it had a huge drop, 56% drop. This is kind of in the relief rally stage. Everything returns back to normal or going higher phase, right? Um, but it just seems like it's back into, if that was the high, if that was if that was the top, right? That was bearish divergence, 56% drop, relief rally. So probably something like that, right? That's possible. Boom, 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 boom. That's iron. Nice. That's sweet. Well, yeah, don't hike and watch the live stream at the same time. That's probably not good. You want to keep your eyes on your footing. Cool, 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 cool. So with that, thank you for all of your support. I appreciate all of you. and help me, help me with the algorithms. Share this, repost it, restream, uh, and hopefully you have a good rest of your day, good evening, wherever you're at. And we will continue to sniper the markets together every day that the market is open and that I'm able and willing to, whether I'm on vacation or feeling ill, whatever. I feel good right now. I'm not on vacation, so we'll keep live streaming every day that I can. And with that, have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next live stream. Adios.